I know her too well. I mean, goodness gracious, she must just be caught up in the moment. Oh, well, yeah, she might come to church for a week or two, but this will not last. Forgive me. Have you never felt that way about something? That new Christian who's just got all this enthusiasm for being a Christian, and you hear them, and there's part of you that's jealous of that faith that they seem to have, but that there's that other part of you that instead of encouraging that faith and learning from that faith, there's a part of you that just kind of gently begins to pick at that faith. Yeah, you think that way now, but wait till reality sets in. Oh yeah, you feel that way today, but wait till you get back to school, or wait till you get back to work, or let's talk 2 months from now. Jesus says to each of us today, we shouldn't be about soaking the faith of others. We should be about fanning the faith of others. As we gather here on Sundays and meet in Sunday schools, as we gather around the tables at home or meet each other out in the streets or in the coffee house, wherever we are, we should be about encouraging the faith of one another. We should be about encouraging the faith of our young people and our children and the parents. We should be about that. Jesus looked at the people that were around this man, and he saw this man struggling. He saw this man being cast out of the synagogue, vanished. Jesus came to him and he said, "Do you know who I am?" And as the man listened again to Jesus, the man who came to him as a healer and a prophet and a teacher, all of a sudden he could see him for who he really was. This was the Christ. The one who had healed him was the one who made him and loved him and forgave him. And he wanted him to be his Lord forever and ever. Jesus comes to us and wonders if we're ready to be saved. That's a word that today doesn't have the same meaning as it did even 20 or 30 years ago. Today, when we hear the word save, it means that we all need to find a good place to put our money so that we won't be touched by the economy. Or when we hear that word save, we think about working on the computer. We don't want to lose our documents. But, we don't really think about the powerful aspect of the word save as it is here, which is about Jesus comes to rescue and to restore. He comes to us in our darkness and in our pain and in our blindness, and he offers us forgiveness and love, and he offers us the miracle of restoration, of being put back together again, but now being put back together as God created us to be. I conclude with this personal illustration as we think about this man and his blindness, and perhaps our own blindness today. A number of years ago, on Christmas Eve, I was in the car driving to get ready for the Christmas Eve service. Parsonage was only about 4 or 5 miles from the church. I'd gone about a mile, and then all of a sudden, for about 15 seconds, I went blind in my right eye. Longest 15 seconds of my life. I hope it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I hope it never happens again. But for 15 seconds, I could not see on my right eye. Just totally white. Just white. I regained my sight. Thank God for that. A few days later, I called my neurologist to find out what was going on. Went in for all the tests. And the end result was that I was told that I have an enlarged blind spot in my right eye. Now, my question was, enlarged, well, what does that mean? Does it mean I had a small blind spot that got bigger, or what does that mean? But basically, I was told, well, we don't know what that means. All we know is you got this enlarged blind spot in your right eye. Well, one of the things I've learned about that blind spot is, and this sounds stating obvious, what I found is I don't know what I can't see. I don't know what I can't see. And so sometimes, all of a sudden, I realize that somebody's over here, and I didn't know they were over here until I turned. And friends, what I want to share with you today is that many of us here today, young and old alike, have blind spots, but we don't know what we can't see. Jesus comes to us today and wants to ask us, are you willing? Are you willing to let me help you be healed from that blind spot? To begin to see things more clearly and more fully from mine? you willing to allow my eyes to become your eyes, that you can see the people around you as I see them? To see yourself as I see you? Are we willing, friends, to recognize that we all have some blindness in our lives, and Jesus comes to us and says, don't let those around you keep you from seeing clearly. For this is what I want for you today. May we open our eyes that we may see.